All right. I think I'll just jump in, and latecomers can follow the recording later. Thanks for joining today's webinar, everyone. It's titled "From Gaps to Growth: Unlocking the Power of Affiliate in Paid Media." My name is Kevin Lord-Barry. You've probably seen me around. I'm the GM of the B2B advertising practice here at Right Side Up. We call it Right%. For those of you who aren't familiar with Right%, we're the B2B arm of Right Side Up. We've spent over 150 million in B2B ads spend for clients like DoorDash, Ramp, and Reddit, and so on. But today is not about B2B ads. It's about how affiliate can fill the gaps in your B2B ad strategy. And that's why I'm so excited to be here to interview Amy. A few notes before we get started. So participants are all muted. You guys can't talk, just so you know. This is a live panel discussion. Provide your questions in the Q&A module. We'll be taking a look throughout our chat and happy to answer questions. I find having audience questions is really fun. We will be sending an email with the recording tomorrow. So that's awesome. If you guys want to be lazy and not listen, you can just leave it on and come back to it, or just leave and get the recording. And finally, I just published a book on B2B ads. I'll send there's going to be a giveaway at the end of this webinar where someone can get a free signed copy of my new book on B2B ads. Alrighty. So with all of that housekeeping done, let me introduce the star of today's show, Amy Scanlon. She's the GM of Right Side Up's affiliate division. She's the most effective affiliate marketer I've ever met. You wouldn't believe if you saw some of the back end numbers. And I'll give her a chance to introduce herself right now.
Oh, thanks, Kevin. I'm so excited to be here. My name's Amy. I started the affiliate practice at Right Side Up. I wanted to build a practice that helps client build affiliate as an in-house function. The one area of marketing I don't think you should outsource to an agency is relationships, because when you go to bring them in-house, you have no idea who your contacts are. And I also wanted to help clients build affiliate programs that fill gaps in areas they can't and won't do internally. So that's the practice, and so excited to be chatting with KLB. So Kevin and I did our first project together when I was moonlighting for Right Side Up. It was either late 2017, Kevin, or early 2018, and we worked on a HR SaaS platform client. And what was so fun was that Kevin made sure he aligned their paid ad strategy with their affiliate strategy in a two-pronged approach. And so I have always appreciated that about you and all of the clients that we've worked on together, be it through, combined Slack channels, so we're all in the know, or just having one-on-one conversations.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Amy. Before we get into the Q&A, we're going to launch a poll question. Real quick poll question. Are you currently running any partner-led growth initiatives? So this is a poll question for our audience listening right now. If you pop open your Zoom, if it's not open, you will see the poll question there. We'll wait, 20 seconds for votes, and then we'll close that poll and share the results.
I always love questions like this because hopefully we can tailor our conversations to where people are running partner-led growth motions.
Yeah, absolutely. It'd be interesting to see if we had, all right, so massively, everyone's doing affiliate programs, which makes sense.
Yes.
And of that, the people doing affiliate, we got some brand ambassador referral programs making
Nice.
up a third of it. And no reseller partnerships, so we can ignore that today.
It's so funny though, KLB, because all of them can not exactly, but some can be farm leagues for others, and some can have partners that are in both an affiliate and a reseller program. So I'm actually really surprised that there are no reseller programs here.
Wow, cool. All right, guys, are you excited to get started? I'm going to do question one for Amy. Our first section of questions is on how the buyer journey is changing in modern advertising and modern marketing. How has AI-driven search behavior changed the way buyers are discovering, evaluating, and purchasing products, Amy?
Yeah, it's such a great question. And I can answer it today, but if you ask me it tomorrow, it might be different, just due to the rapid clip of AI adoption. But I think we started to see a change a couple of years ago where buyers stopped believing brands. Buyers look to people for discovery, consideration, purchase, and advocacy. So you have what I call endorsement marketing, which is inclusive of a lot of the partner-led growth motions, the brand ambassadors, the traditional affiliates, the creator affiliates, the nano micro podcast, the digital PR. We're finally getting a seat at the growth table because that's where buyers are starting their journey, particularly business buyers. They are starting their journeys from people. So that started a couple years ago, combined this year with the adoption of AI to the point where ChatGPT is now people's starting point in their browsers. We find that affiliate has changed drastically. The tried and true playbook doesn't necessarily work, and the new playbook is being rewritten, and it's getting written and written and written in light of the AI adoption. So the tried and true affiliate playbook has always been, or to fill gaps, has been over indexing with partners at value at the top of the funnel and the middle of the funnel. The top of the funnel, those are the content creators, the digital media publications, the bloggers, the influencer creators, the nano micro podcasts. The gap they're filling there is discovery. They have unique platforms and followings, a voice that resonates with their users, and they tended to produce long form evergreen content that ranks in the SERPs and pays off in perpetuity. The middle of the funnel, the partners and the gap that was being solved were the price comparison sites and the review sites. They were filling your long tail SEO. They ranked for best this, that, and every other derivation that you didn't rank for in your technical SEO and your content syndication. Now, those things, they're still true today, but the new playbook has unlocked the value and the volume in the long tail. Those are the creators at individual creators at scale, the communities and the forums. And part of that is due to, again, the buyer funnel changing and where the LLMs are pulling in third-party syndication partners to talk about brands. And so I would say most affiliate programs, particularly in B2B for targeting B2 SMB and prosumer, are over indexing with creators and community forums more than traditional affiliates, while those big digital media publications and review sites figure out their traffic acquisition strategy because they no longer have presence in Google and free traffic to monetize. So it's changing rapidly.
Yeah, I mean, that was a lot. There's so much going on in the changes. What would you say, as an affiliate marketer, what's harder now and what's easier? So what new
Yeah.
challenges does this, represent for you? But what is now easier than it used to be?
Yeah. Well, the harder challenges are metrics and KPIs. So most affiliate programs have been evaluated based on where they are run in the organization, and they were often run in the growth performance teams. And so they were evaluated specifically on the performance metrics, conversions. That might be, lead gen, it could be
Yeah.
MQLs, SQLs, whatever that definition was. So, but the challenge today is that the partners, the third-party syndication partners, particularly in the LLMs, they're showing up way before the brand even knows it, or the brand doesn't know it in the consideration period. And so the metrics are slightly changing. We still look at conversion metrics, but we align the affiliate programs to the overall GEO or AEO, whether it's generative engine or answer engine optimization strategy, because your partners are an army of context creators sending the LLMs the signals that say, yeah, you are exactly who you say you are, and you should be in their answer that the user is looking for. So we start to look at exposure and market share metrics. So that means we're looking at affiliates, LLM citation, the count of LLM citation, the count of brand mentions, and their LLM credibility. And the challenge is, it's different for the different AI models, but it helps us inform which affiliate partners are important, not only with their downstream funnel metrics and conversions, but are helping us show up in the new buyer funnel, who we should be spending more time with, and who's showing up for our competitors that we need to recruit into the program. So that's a challenge because affiliate, like I said, being managed in one part of the organization never got partnerships never got their true value heard, which is they add brand equity, they help with brand discovery, they drive earned media value, they can drive conversions, and they drive UGC for paid ads. And so we're now just training and getting folks accompanied to LLM AI visibility metrics. So that's a challenge because no one wants
Yeah.
to, everyone likes deterministic or some probabilistic attribution, and that doesn't do that. And then the second part of your question, what has been made easier? Operational efficiencies. Affiliate is a really tactical channel. It often gets compared to the channels that you run so well, the core channels. But with affiliate, you can't just turn on the dial or the fire hose of data and turn it up and down as you want. This is a relationship channel. They take time to nurture, to educate. And so we're creating a lot of agentic workflows, speeding up the tactical elements of onboarding, enabling, educating partners so that we can leave more time to build those relationships. So that's the pro side of the AI adoption.
Yeah, there's just so much fascinating stuff in there, and my big takeaway is, as an advertiser for so many years, thinking about affiliate. You're mentioning how affiliates never, or partners have had a hard time getting credit in the past for things that add to the brand, right? Awareness, a third party giving a credible source of information, or as you mentioned now, like feeding into how the AI views the internet and how it looks at different sources of individual information. When I look at affiliate 5 years ago, it was the opposite. It's like you don't go to affiliate to make your brand better. You go to affiliate to make a quick buck and make your brand worse, right? Like that's the bad impression that marketers have had.
Yeah.
So I just think it's so cool that you guys are seeing real data nowadays that shows you can make affiliate work on the top of funnel and
Yeah.
really brand quality basis.
It's so true. And affiliate, like the word affiliate means so many different things to different people. So it's always good to align on what that definition is. And typically when the word affiliate is used, it conjures up negative feelings because partly because the affiliate program has always been run in a silo and never really had a seat at the growth table. And so when that happens, it often has cannibalized other channel efforts. Affiliate's not a channel. Affiliate's a program. Affiliate can play the role of every channel. You can work with paid search affiliates. You can work with paid social affiliates for whitelisting, dark posting. You can work with email affiliates, cart abandonment, website abandonment affiliates. And so that's why it should be a gap filler. But when it has been run in a silo, we often have cannibalized other channel efforts. And then the question of, is affiliate really incremental comes up? So what I love so much right now is we're getting a very large seat at the growth table because again, that's where buyers are starting their journey. And that's where an AI, third-party syndication is so important and how you become visible there, that it's finally getting the credit and the credit that it deserves. We're still held to the bottom of the funnel conversion metrics primarily, but I think slowly over time, people are realizing that brand equity, earned media value, trust, authoritative partners are important, even if the conversions aren't necessarily there.
Yeah, or at least there at first or in an obvious way, right?
Yeah. And then, sorry, one other thing, Kevin. I would say that partners, if you're sourcing to the gaps, there's partners that add value at every stage of the funnel. There's the discovery, the consideration, and then there's the purchase. There, but we often pay on the outcome, which is in the conversion only. It's very hard and difficult to align the value to the individual stage. And so I would say we're not quite there yet, but people are starting to recognize it. And then when you think about B2B affiliate programs, B to SMB and prosumer is very similar to B2C because it's either a self-service funnel or a light sales motion. But when we talk about B2B programs for driving mid-market and enterprise, that those are even it's harder to put value on their
Yeah.
importance because it has to align to the ABM strategy and they'll never close that like 20 plus KPI point system, but they are in the sphere of influence and they drive that next demo or that next white paper download. And so you have to get crystal clear on your micro conversions and the value of each stage of that micro conversion.
Nice. Yeah, that actually reminds me of our acronym at Right%, which I'll actually have a quiz question on later.
Ooh.
So I shouldn't mention it now. But basically, it's very important to get the indicated quality of leads
Yes.
or early on in every channel. Um,
Yes.
so actually, let's jump into B2B now. So I
Yeah.
know not everyone here listening is B2B. Amy's
Mm.
practice is B2C and B2B. But I do know there are a lot of B2B people here, including myself. So I'd like to spend a few questions
Yeah.
there. Why is affiliate adoption surging in B2B right now?
Yeah.
So for those who don't have context, like the market in affiliate for B2B is increasing rapidly, both for Amy's team, but also the general market. So why do you think this is happening, Amy? And why is it
Yeah.
different than in consumer?
Yeah. Well, a couple things. Like again, the buyer journey, like the amount of business buyers that are younger than me and where they're starting their journeys have changed. And so I think brands have realized, man, we need to get these creators on board because business buyers are not in the journeys that we previously outlined. So that's what I think, gosh, it must have been, this is so outdated now. It was a year ago. I was speaking and we talked about Forrester's metric with it was 40% of business buyers start their journeys from social platforms. That must be much bigger now. That was a year ago, right? And also with the adoption of AI, it's so different. So part of the reason is because the buyer journey has changed. Business buyers, in the way they behave are different than myself. I'm still a Googler. And then secondly, I think the partner-led growth motion has become so important to brands' overall GTM strategy for driving brand and demand that we're seeing a surge in affiliate programs. It's funny, there's some plays out of the B2B marketing playbook that B2C should adopt, and then and vice versa. And so I think B2B affiliate marketing has leaned in the long tail, the value and the volume of the long tail, much at a higher rate than B2C. And by that, I mean the creators at scale, be it for YouTube or LinkedIn, but also the forums. And it's questionable. Reddit to me, Reddit's a forum, Reddit's a community, Reddit's a search engine, and Reddit's a social platform. And so I put Reddit in there, but Reddit is all of those. So I'm just going to call out Reddit specifically versus some of the other forums that we work in.
Gotcha. All right. So next topic I want to get into, and by the way, audience, feel free, any thought comes up, anything you want us to follow up on, that QA, feel free to just submit whatever you want. We're happy to add you to the conversation. Uh, the next question is going to be, we've talked about, we mentioned briefly in this call that, affiliate is used to fill the gaps in paid media. And, the title of this webinar is also filling the gaps to growth, right? In what ways can affiliates fill funnel gaps? What exactly do you mean by that?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think here's a couple of specific like examples and the way that you and I know to be true, which is paid search, right? There's often a gap in the long tail and the discovery of words of keywords that you're going after that can be more efficient to pay an affiliate on a pay per performance model than on a CPC model. So there's a lot of testing that can happen there. I am not a fan on the whole of TM plus bidding in general, where you have affiliates that are running paid search on that. Sometimes there's a gap there, and there are very specific examples on why. But I do think a gap can be in the long tail and discovery, and see if you can do it cheaper through affiliate than CPC. Also for user generated content and advertorials, whitelisting to supplement your paid meta ads can be very cost effective through a third party partner site. That's another one. And then the top of the funnel it can often be a gap because affiliate and creators have unique platforms and following. So you're not reaching them today unless you are heavily invested in full funnel paid media mix. And oftentimes when we're launching affiliate programs, most brands have the core channels scaled out and they're looking to diversify and reduce their blended CAC, which is why they rely on affiliate to affiliate as the first gap channel. But then over time, as they build out that full funnel paid media mix, those gaps get smaller, and we've got to find those gaps in all of their paid media mix. I hope that answered your question.
Yeah, I think it definitely does, and the audience can also ask any follow-ups they have.
Oh, I see an audience question. I'm so excited. Do you mind if we take a little pause and
I was going to say the same thing. Let's do it.
great, go ahead. Do you mind reading it? And then
Sure.
I'll form some
I'm new
thoughts.
to affiliates. What are some other examples of community forums, and what kind of partnerships do these usually look like?
Yeah, such a great question, new or old. So some of the forums that we work in for our crypto clients, Discord. We work with a lot of we work in Discord. Quora is another forum. Um, uh, Reddit would be another forum. We work in communities. We work with Substack and affiliates there. The rewards are slightly different, and some of the platforms don't allow affiliate monetization. But what we do is we warm up those communities and have editorial content conversations. And should they want to click off, they'll click off and then be monetized on a different platform. So, say it was a Reddit community, we might be having conversations. And then if people want to click off, it might be through an affiliate who also has a YouTube presence or their own website and blog where they can monetize that way. But I would say the big ones, Patreon is another one, but the big ones are right now are Quora, Discord, Reddit, and Substack.
Super cool.
I'd
And
love to get into Slacks, man. I know community and monetization is an oxymoron, but I think about myself and all the Slack communities I'm in, and then I put on my marketer hat and I'm like, oh, I wish I could get in there. There's a lot of new customers to be had.
awesome. I think that was a pretty good answer, Amy. And if anyone has a follow-up question on that, feel free to add it to the comments or the Q&A. I think another thing very related to this is we've mentioned how affiliates can build and amplify trust, right? Nobody really trusts ads from brands. I mean, that's just natural, right? So in what ways do you leverage these affiliates and these partners to create trust in the brands you work with?
Yeah, such a great question because when you're working, particularly with creators, the reason why you want to work with them is because they have built an audience that responds to their presence, their thought leadership, their recommendations. And so you want to enable your partners and creators to have their voice that resonates with their users. But of course, you want it to be within the brand guidelines. And so it's a bit tough but doable. And so for a highly compliant brand, we'll often run an affiliate program similar to a loyalty program where we essentially have multiple tiers. We'll talk about the first tier, which is in a sandbox where we have partner enablement and education material, and then give them some guidelines on how they can earn and what they can and can't do from a brand compliance perspective. And then we'll see how they do and what the volume and the value is in terms of the conversions that they're driving. And then we might move them up into another tier where we unlock additional commission structure, access to new features, any offers or promotions, but also give them a little bit more leeway to use their brand voice that resonates now that they can prove they've shown that they know how to be compliant. And then we have the monitoring in place and we can move them between the tiers as need be. But I think utilizing creators, if you can, to give them the space to do what they do best on the platform in which they're speaking. And so I get brand compliance. I'm a fan of it, but the minimum amount of direction there, of course, with the education on the product and service would be my recommendation.
Yeah. Um, a follow-up question to this is, how do you, and I know this is a big question, how do you go about finding these affiliates, right?
Yeah.
Like, are you finding them on a tool like Impact and they're all on there, or do you do like lots of legwork or both, or how does that work?
Yeah. There's um, most affiliate specialists, and because we're not your traditional agency and we vet and collect affiliate specialists and we deploy them, they have a known playbook. So so for them, they come with a Rolodex of relationships that they've maintained over the year, but they also have to have a framework in which to recruit new partners. So I think you'll find affiliate specialists, they build their relationship builders, they maintain those over the years. In terms of the framework, the old playbook where we lived, and SEO is still very important, but the old playbook with SEO combined with GEO/AEO is, you're looking at where your target customers are, what the keywords they were searching on now, what prompts that they're asking, and you're cataloging and building a collection of, and then also where your competitors are showing where your competitors are and you aren't. So it's easy to slot yourself into conversations where there are existing conversations where your competitors are, or there's context for AI, or there's keywords in which you want to be a part of that conversation. So those are some of the frameworks. And there are tools. Yes, the platforms for tracking have marketplaces, but if you're sourcing to the gaps, those marketplaces become um, less interesting to me in the sense that everyone's fishing from the same pond. If
Right.
you source to your gaps, where are your gaps? Where in your marketing media mix? And then where do you have relationships are known performers? And then where are your competitors that you are not? And then today in the AI age, cataloging and having your prompts in place and understanding what the main topics and the subtopics in which users are looking, and you should be in that consideration set, is how you're going to start to find your recruit new affiliate partners. So that would mean you have to have an AI visibility analytics tool in place, like a Profound or a Visto or Scrunch or an Evertune, or even SEMrush or Looker have their citation analysis tools. And then there's some other great tools like for creators at scale too. Like we use Clay internally for data enrichment and recruitment. There's Passion Fruit is another great one. There's many, many great
Yeah,
ones,
I think we're gonna have to make a checklist with all of these to keep track of it
right?
so Lisa has a question. There's another
Oh,
question
good.
from the audience. It's very simple. What are your go-to affiliate program platforms? And it
Mm,
seems like there's so many nowadays for all these
yeah.
different use cases.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Lisa, great question, and also great point, Kevin. Partly because I want to answer two parts. Lisa, let's go with you first because you raised your hand. I appreciate that. I put the platforms into two buckets. There's the networks and the SaaS solutions, and there's pros and cons of each. I tend to lean towards the SaaS solution, so Impact, PartnerStack, Everflow, partly because they have more modern day tech stacks and are API driven. And you can ingest that data. And if you have a more sophisticated crediting methodology, you can run it to your MMM or your internal attribution, and then send it back. Because the worst is to send it to the platform automatically and then have to crawl back some of that money from the partners. It's easier to just tell them what they earned finally versus taking it away. So the SaaS solutions are API driven, more modern day tech stacks, and they tend to have an operating model without an inherent conflict of interest. So the networks, as your program scales, they take a percentage. So as it scales, you're giving them more. In the SaaS platforms, as the program scales, the effective cost of what they're charging you comes down, and that feels more operationally aligned with where you want the program to go. Now, there's been an explosion in creator marketing for UGC as well as for driving performance. And so there are more modern day creator tech stacks as well, depending on what the goals are. So for that, I would say like a super affiliate or a social snowball is fantastic if you're running a creator only program and you're combining performance with UGC and you're looking for social listening tools, you're looking for UGC cataloging and contract negotiations, they're a little bit better. Impact has a platform that allows you to do both. PartnerStack allows you to do both too. But the integrations with a creator focused platform like a super affiliate and social snowball, they're much deeper in TikTok, deeper in Insta, and Amazon than the traditional affiliate platforms. Sorry. And
Wow.
then, yes, and then, yes, so that was your second part, KLB, is to like, I'm hoping over time there's some consolidation so you can run your partner-led growth motion under one umbrella. Partner Stack allows you to run your brand ambassador referral, your affiliate, your reseller, and your channel partners under one umbrella. And to me, that makes sense because there are times where a reseller can be an affiliate, and there are times where an affiliate can be a reseller. And so it's nice to create some operational efficiencies in all those partner programs because there's enablement that can be done. So I recommend that.
Wow. Super cool. Um, all right, there's no other questions, so I will go to the next section, which is so we've touched on AI, on GEO, on how that's how AI is changing how consumers and leads search for their business, right, and how to manipulate that. But on AI for the tool of identifying, recruiting, and managing affiliates,
Mm.
do you find that useful right now?
Yes, yes, definitely for recruiting because we use the AI visibility analytics tools to understand, kind of sentiment analysis for our for brands combined or our competitors, sorry. Sentiment analysis combined with who's showing up in their prompts and not in our prompts. So definitely for recruitment. But for AI, I think, similar to other marketing channels, generative AI and being able to write copy and campaign and creator briefs have just become so much faster and more efficient, again, leaving more time to build relationships. And so there's the recruitment strategy. Yes. And I mean, can you use ChatGPT to recruit affiliates? Absolutely. Who are my competitors, or who are the affiliates promoting my competitors and not me? Great prompt to run. So recruitment, um, activation is the education and the enablement, and then the optimization part is using the AI visibility tool to see who is more credible and is cited and mentioned more for our competitors than us as a brand.
Yeah. With affiliate being so complicated, is there a stage of company that you think it's most appropriate for? Like, would you
Oh,
say you should only do AI once you've kind of nailed at least one other channel, like paid ads,
yeah.
or
Yeah, and you know what? My tune has changed. So my
uh,
tune has always been, and I'm still leaning into my new tune, but my old tune has been I would not consider affiliate until you have the core channels scaling, because the role of the core channels is you can turn on that fire hose of data, work out funnel optimization, work out messaging, because your partners assume the upfront economic cost of promoting you and they get paid on the outcome. So if there's any leaks in the funnel, they're going to offboard, and then building trust and getting them on board again is quite tough. Now, with that said, because the buyer funnel has changed so much, and like the chat GPTs of the world are now people's browser starting points, then endorsement marketing is a very large seat at the growth table. And we have started dipping our toes with seed companies and utilizing affiliate creator marketing as part of their GTM strategy to find product market fit. The KPIs are different. The KPIs are not conversions. I mean, they're nice if we get conversions, but the KPIs more are how is how are what are the engagement levels and responses to brand ambassador and creators that are presenting our product for discovery and consideration. What do those KPIs look like? And then how does that help us with our messaging and with our pricing? Very similar to, my old playbook, which was turn on the core channels, work all that stuff out first. So
yeah.
it's interesting, it's changing. And I think it's
Mm.
going to change even more so if clickless tracking and AI comes to the B2B world, right? When Shopify announced its integration with ChatGPT, where you could buy a product, right? That changes the dynamics of a lot of things, attribution in particular. And
Yeah.
so if that goes to B2B, then I think affiliate or endorsement marketing creators, affiliates should be part of your GTM and your overall growth strategy from the get-go. Only because of their citations in the LLMs and how important that is right now to showing up.
Yeah, so there's so many KPIs now. It seems like it varies a lot based on client, right? Based on their goal and
Yeah,
channel. Could you go over a couple of the common KPIs and why
yeah.
companies choose those?
Yeah, I think a lot of our Beta SMB SaaS and prosumer is the KPIs tend to be we'll look at free to paid subscriptions and we'll often dangle a small carrot commission on a free trial and then the bigger commission on the paid conversion. So that tends to be the the actions that are commissioned and the KPIs that we're looking at. Now, for mid-market and enterprise, again, those ones are a bit tricky because those are micro conversions. And so those KPIs are, did they move in our sales funnel to the next step?
Yeah. Um, how do you, so you mentioned sentiment analysis
Mm.
as a tool for measuring results. What other tools do you use to report on that kind of brand level, sentiment level, and awareness level goals when clients have them?
Yeah. Well, to be perfectly honest, it's new to us being a performance marketer. I mean, I love brand marketing, but I chose performance marketing myself because I like that math part. But it's a little bit new to us because if you think of AI, to me, when you distill AI down to its basic, it is personalization at scale. And personalization at scale means brands have to get their content houses in order so they are delivering the right content at in the right place in the right stage of their buyer journey, and that we need the tools that come back to us to say we did exactly that. And so in my vetting of the AI visibility or the AI analytics tools, I am constantly looking at sentiment analysis because, as the buyer journey changes and so much of the information is all within the prompt and the subsequent prompts, I need to know if my partners are showing up and saying the right things to that customer at the right part of their buyer journey so that we can we can align with it the overall marketing strategy to say we're filling a gap where we showed up, we gave the right information, and we moved that buyer down the journey. So it's tough, and I've seen some good sentiment analysis in the AI analytics tools, and then I've seen some basic one that's like, positive, negative, or neutral. But I'm hoping that they evolve, especially because it's hard to do data analysis in the prompts. The prompt is returning so much more information. I think on average today, people put 23 words in the prompt. And then, a month ago, Anthropic scraped 60,000 sites to return the answer. So just, it's all changing so quickly.
Yeah.
It's hard to stay up on. It's hard for me. I'm sure it's hard for you and everyone else to stay on top of it.
Yeah, that's been a big takeaway from this interview so far.
Oh,
Um,
good.
yeah.
Wait, is the takeaway, oh my gosh, I got to get myself an AI visibility tool so I can understand how I'm showing up?
I think the takeaway for me is that this is way more complicated than it was 5 years ago. There's so many
Yes.
new options, and honestly, a lot of exciting stuff. The kind of B2B ads in general is going more towards a personalized approach, right?
Yeah.
Where the algorithm gives people what they want at the right time, and at the same time, awareness is getting more important on the B2B ad side. The importance of CTV going to an audience,
Yeah.
for that awareness, and all that.
Yeah. And I want to ask you a question, like
Yeah.
for all of your clients, how do you and or have you or should you start to leverage partnerships for UGC creation to keep up with the algorithms?
Yeah, the answer is definitely yes. So that's another light bulb for me here is that for
Mm,
a bunch of 1% clients, I should bring you in and we should partner on testing something for influencer, just because like that, if we can get a little extra credibility into an ad, a little bit of extra concreteness from somebody who's not our brand, and do that
Yeah.
reliably, I think that would be CAC and improvements in ROI that we could get pretty quickly.
Absolutely, because again, like I really believe it was a couple years ago, people stopped believing brands. They're looking to people only after they've learned about a brand and they've done their research through other people will they believe the brand. And so, not only UGC for keeping up with the algorithm and ad creation, but whitelisting is so important to having a third party validate the brand when the person is still in the research mode.
Yeah, it's awesome. And, I think everyone knows in principle that that's a good idea, but how do you actually get this person? How do you whitelist it? How do you whatever? And you kind of like another light bulb moment for me was you saying that you look for team members to partner with, as part of Right Set Up as you grow this practice that have their areas of specialization and their own Rolodexes of relationships to help with relationship building, because that really does seem like it would be very helpful.
Yeah, and when Right Percent and Right Set Up Affiliate work together, we know who are our top performers, who are driving conversions, who is on brand, who are
Yeah.
people listening to. And then we combine it with you to say, okay, well, what is the messaging that resonates? How do we run it? And then what is the frequency that you've seen in your ads that lands? And what frequency should we test out so that we're getting the most bang for our buck when we whitelist through a creator? So it's funny, marketing is so fragmented, right? And buyers are perpetually connected, but we've run programs and channels in a silo because it's so much easier from budget allocation and attribution perspective. But my hope is that AI starts to break that all down. I think that the programs and channels will have to work together, which will be great.
Absolutely. All right, folks, we have 15 minutes left. Remember to get your questions in. We're happy to have questions from anybody on any subject related to affiliate. I'll be going over two things before we end: endorsement marketing versus influencer, and what those terms mean, and then finally looking ahead. And at the end, we'll do the quiz question for a signed copy of the book. So with that, let me jump in. Amy, endorsement marketing versus influencer marketing. Are these the same things? Are these different? Like, what makes it different in your mind?
Well, in my mind, so I'm glad you said in my mind because I think everybody thinks of them different. I think endorsement marketing is the umbrella for third party partnerships for validation, discovery, etc. So I think of it as all of it is endorsement marketing. The difference between influencer and affiliate is often just the reward and when you reward them. For creators and influencers, you're often doing a hybrid where you're paying them a flat fee for what they do best, which is content creation, and then a commission for any performance that they drive. Whereas affiliates, it can be the same thing too, or it could just be paper performance. What I see, and the question I would answer that you didn't ask was, should those be run in the same department or not? They're often run in two different departments. And the problem with that is that most brands dip their toes in influencer or creator marketing, primarily for driving brand awareness and for UGC so that they can win in the core channel. But you must move them into a paper performance affiliate program while you're testing their UGC in the market, right? And we talked about, more importantly, like not only how it performs, but what the cadence is that you need to use that their UGC. So, or their content. So I think that those programs, when they are run under the same umbrella and manager, they could be two different managers, but in lockstep, you get the most value out of those partnerships where you're looking at brand equity, you're looking at earned media value, you're looking at performance, and you're looking at when to buy UGC, when to utilize it, where to utilize UGC, be it in paid ads or in other places.
Yeah, I think all of that is probably a downstream side effect of affiliate used to being a dirty word, something that would
Yeah.
hurt your brand. And so you'd have the people doing partnerships. Oh, this is good brand stuff. We're all friends. And then there's like, the shady person doing affiliate and paying them, right? But really now you're seeing affiliate, or whatever name it has now, endorsement marketing, influencer marketing, but whatever is getting that seat on the table and should be in those discussions because it can add to brand and really is additive most of the time nowadays when you do it right.
Oh my God, that's so funny. Kevin. That is so true. Maybe like the word endorsement I've been using is to like make up for all those times where affiliate was a bad word.
Yeah. Okay. What makes an endorsement authentic? So how do you thread that needle? We're paying money to people, and in the
Yeah.
end, we want that money to make us money. How do you thread it?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a tough one. So sometimes like you're not paying for it and you're going to get it. And sometimes you're paying for it. And when you're paying for it, you want to be a part of that communication. You want editorial input. You want editorial oversight. You want to review it before it goes live and make sure it's exactly the way you wanted it. The where it's threading that needle is tough is again, these folks have a voice that resonates with their users. They've built a following of people who enjoy listening to them. So you have to allow them the ability to use their voice and be creative in ways that might not feel on brand. I'm not saying it should be off brand,
Mm.
but it should be in a way that they know it will land. So that's the hard part. I think a lot of times when it comes to partner marketing and affiliate marketing, there is an element of control and risk because you decide who you want to partner with for as long as you want to partner with. You can onboard and offboard them. But also, I think it's helpful for us to realize that customers can also do endorsements, be it positive or negative, and we don't get a say in that, right? And so I think being a brand that has, views partnerships as a true extension of them as brand ambassadors in their online sales force with the recognition that they might go about things slightly different is the best approach.
Yeah. Would you say almost universally that if someone's running paid ads, like they should work with their whatever partnership team their company has on figuring out how do we incorporate authentic voices of customers, clients, partners, whatever,
Yeah,
into our ads?
absolutely. Yes. And partly because like most relationship marketers that are running affiliate and creator programs aren't the best specialists when it comes to managing algorithms. And so you have to partner with the paid ad folks. This is what they do. They know how to do it so well. Plus they have so much data on the brand ads that were created, that what worked, what didn't work. And so when you combine those two, where you're leveraging the relationship marketers to find the person that is getting the most endorsements to your brand and driving the most conversions with their voice plus what we know that works well, I think that is a recipe for success.
Awesome. And we have another question from the audience. Christian asks, with affiliate becoming more prevalent in B2B, aligning with direct to consumer, are there any B2B practices that should be considered for direct to consumer brands, especially in the relationship marketing space? So basically, is there anything to learn from B2B for B2C now that B2B is blowing up?
Yeah, yeah, Christian, it's such a good question. Um, I think that B2B, when B2B kind of ecosystem led growth is an area I think B2C should take a play out of the playbook in the sense that affiliates or partnerships come in all shapes and sizes. And so in direct to consumer, I think there's a lot more brand to brand collaborations and sharing first party data to present products that delight customers and deliver new customer acquisition to one brand and drives LTV for another brand. So ecosystem led growth in B2B marketing where companies are sharing their CRMs and go and selling to businesses together, co-selling on how they fit into the tech stack and how they um, fill in gaps, I think B2B should do. Plus, like it helps with collective buying power and negotiating media placements as well. I think so. That's one area I would like to see. And there are brand to brand collaborations in direct to consumer, but they're very simple. They're very simple. They're constructed where I think if they would be willing to share a lot more, they would get more value out of it. That's one thing. And then I think D2C and B2C, running creators and affiliates together, either under one umbrella with 2 points of contact in lockstep or one person. I think there would be would be streamlined and drive better results. I see in B2C and direct to consumer, those two are very different, but in B2B, affiliates, creators, building from within, where you're brand ambassadors that you turn into affiliates and resellers, the swim lanes aren't so defined. B2B is like, hey, we have an open door, come partner with us and tell us how you want to best partner with us. And it might be in multiple lanes at the same time.
And B2C is less likely to do that right now.
Yeah, exactly. They tend to have thank you for completing my thought. They tend to have influencers on the brand team and affiliates on the performance team, and they're clamoring for attribution and credit for budget allocation. Instead, they should be working more together.
Right. So B2C is treating it like their main channel, which is paid ads, right? Where like, oh, spend money here. What's the CAC? Like, oh, this doesn't work out. This does work out. Not treating it like relationship management, which it is. And that comes a little more naturally to B2B companies, right?
Yeah, smart. Good connecting of the dots. I like that you're in my brain connecting it there. It's funny. I think in the theory, what I'd love to see in the future is B2B, B2C, D2C. I'd love for there to be brands to create an umbrella framework in their approach to partnerships, right? What is their philosophical alignment to partnerships as an extension of themselves, as their online sales force. And then once they do that, then work out the operations of discovery, onboarding, enabling, evaluating, and pushing the assets around the org. And then have like all the different swim lanes and the different programs and the definitions of when you can be in them, one or multiple ones. I'd love to see that because again, most brands dip their toes in one form of a partner-led growth motion, and then they do it again and they do it again, but they never connect the dots and the overarching strategy. And then when you do that, then you have teams better collaborating and you're utilizing the value of partnerships throughout the org within the paid and paid ads and affiliate, but also in the earned media with your PR teams and your organic teams.
Awesome. All right. I think we have time for one more question from me. And if the audience has any last minute questions, don't be shy. My last question, Amy, is anything you haven't mentioned you think is going to change an affiliate in the next 5 years, or anything
Yeah.
you want to emphasize further that like this is where it's going?
Yes. And I am assuming there's a lot of affiliate marketers out there. And I just want to know, I feel you, and I am not sure in terms of the whole um, monetization of the new AI ecosystem that we live in, right? So up until recently, LLMs have been able to crawl content creator sites at will. Um, and to feed the LLMs until Cloudflare pushed that big red button that said, okay, yeah, you can say as a creator, yes or no if you want to be crawled, and yes, what you are charging. And so, in the affiliate world, it's a little bit nutty because the LLMs need data to feed the models, but the creators themselves are losing their monetization, attribution, links, and codes, coupon codes, QR codes, etc. So I'm not quite sure how it's all going to shake out. I've seen some things where Perplexity, right? They launched their publisher program where they're hand selecting publishers to create tailored, consistent content. In exchange, they're giving a percentage of the subscription fee. You see Cloudflare saying, okay, hey now, you can decide if you want to be crawled and how much you charge for it. So it's still to be worked out, but my hope is that everybody gets unified and creators get to continue to create, and you create because you want to be a celebrity. This is what the Cloudflare CEO said. You create content because you either want to be a celebrity or you want to make money. And I believe that's true. And so again, I hope we get it all worked out where creators continue to feed the engines and they get compensated for the work that they do and not get squeezed out of any affiliate commissions.
All right. Thanks so much. Well, that's in conclusion, everyone. We do have a book giveaway, so we're going to have a pop quiz for anyone still here and listening. So let me get that pop quiz question. So in my book, Do What Works, the B2B Ads Handbook, I mentioned that to really do a good job in B2B advertising, B2B marketers need to get a life, L-I-F-E. Is there any guesses in the audience of what life stands for? L-I-F-E. You can just put it in the comments if you think you have a guess. Could also be B2B marketers need to create life instead of get a life.
Geez. I have some ideas myself, but I'm too, like many others, I'm too nervous to put it in there. I mean,
Yeah. Also, you're already going to get a signed copy, but that's I don't think anybody knows. It's too hard. So this is a common saying at Right%. Life means leading indicators of future earnings. So in every campaign that you have in marketing in B2B, you know, the actual sale comes later. The revenue comes later. So you need the lead that comes in to have, you know, a signal that says, you know, this lead is good. This will lead to revenue. So just easy to remember, life, leading indicators of future earnings. Have a great day, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Such a pleasure, Amy, and I hope to see everyone later.
thanks, everyone.